Finally, we're heading to the filtration plant. After skipping the loading animations, press down and start to select the stage. The amount of coins we're getting on this stage varies, but we want at least 100 coins. 400 if you want to play it safe and use a health pad later. Keep in mind, you're on a slippery ice most of the time, and it will make movement difficult on the ground. Start holding right and drop down to get rid of your super jump. Run behind this enemy until the officer shoots a bullet over you, then jump punch to kill the runner while landing on the left side of the pad. Make sure you're stopping your forward momentum by briefly holding left mid-air. Then long jump over the officer and the runner, followed by another long jump over the next bullet. Run to bump yourself against the wall, then jump punch the officer once. Go over him and briefly turn around to punch him again. This is for lag management, but not absolutely necessary if you feel like it's going to ruin your movement. Run down and jump punch the next runner. Ideally you will punch him so his coin drops against the pillar here. Then long jump here and do not punch this runner immediately and wait until he's near the edge of the platform. Then another jump punch so his coin lands on a good spot for us to pick it up. Wait a few extra frames until the officer shoots and jump up. Pick up the coin and go up onto the box. Then kneel to punch the officer twice. This next part is all about precise jump timings and proper damage boosts. Run down, and when Steve is aligned with this black vertical line here, do a full jump to damage boost through the big robot. Now hold A to buffer your next jump, and as the ice wall will carry your formal momentum, you will be pushed against the platform. Jump up and use your iframes to go through the officer. Then high jump right when the small patch of ice starts. Punch the runner mid-air, and if everything was done right, the officer should start shooting now instead of earlier. They only fire when you're on the same level with them. Simply run forward and drop down to dodge the bullet. Then hug against the small platform and jump in front of the big robot. Turn around to get a damage boost. Face right and long jump. Only go for this strat if you're comfortable not losing your red vest on the first part of the stage. If you want to play it safe, do small jumps here and punch the big robot in the air. Punch the officer on your way down and immediately jump to punch him again. Continue up here. Turn around and punch this next officer twice on your way up. The timing for these punches can be tricky. Hold left and start your punches when Steve's knees are aligned with this platform. Make sure you're holding A to do a long jump at the same time. Then turn right and jump. Start holding left and use the gained momentum to reach here. You can't make this jump without having some forward momentum going on. High jump here and bonk your head against the ceiling above. Hold up so you're grabbing the fence. Then long jump to punch the officer twice. Continue forward and jump at the top. Drop down and do another long jump. On your way down, punch the big boy once and land in front of him. Release your right input so you're not hitting the enemy. Then a brief neutral jump before starting to hold right again, going over the enemy. Do the same with the second big boy. Jump up and punch his face on your way down, briefly going neutral and jumping over him. Drop down, and when you see the officer pointing his gun at you, jump up and punch his bullet in the air. Then another jump over him. Hug the wall briefly, and when the right officer is about to shoot, jump and punch his bullet as well. Go over him and continue down. You will hate the next section, and that's okay, we all do. These big fans will relentlessly push you back while you're trying to balance yourself on slippery ice. They take 4 punches with the red vest and 8 with the green vest. You can imagine the pain to go through this section without the red vest. Do not even attempt to punch them on the ground and always connect your punches mid-air. That said, hug the wall and land in front of the first fan. Do a tidy jump and punch on your way up and do the same on your way down, hitting the fan twice. Aim to punch around the top part of the fan instead of the actual fan part of it. One thing to remember here is not to hold right all the time. You'll eventually hit the fan and damage yourself by doing so. Try to go neutral after your second punch and start holding right again when you're doing your second jump. This should keep you in a perfect position to continue with the punches without getting too close to the fan. I'm not exactly sure why, but it seems like the coin drops from these fans are random. They sometimes drop big coins, small coins, or nothing at all. Drop down and face left to punch the officer's bullet, then move in front of him to deliver 2 punches. You could also kneel to dodge the bullet, but because you're on ice, you're losing your forward momentum by doing so. Now, if the intense winds and slippery ice wasn't enough for you, how about spikes to make things even more interesting? Do the same thing. Hug the right wall when you're dropping down and tiny jump to punch the fan twice, followed by another tiny jump with 2 punches, neutraling your D-pad between the 2 jumps. Collect the coin, whether it's a big one or a small one. Then face left to jump punch the 3rd fan. Finally, destroy the last fan and run forward. You can punch this runner when he's in front of the box, though you do get an extra coin by doing so. If you want to avoid the coin, simply jump over the runner and jump again here to avoid it. It's a riskier strat, but at least you're avoiding the coin. Move on to the next screen. Since you clearly love the ice so much, here's the necessary water section of the game. Jump up and run down to the water. Keep holding right during the fall and do a medium jump up to the platform. The water physics can really throw you off, so practice the jump heights first to get used to them. Run on top of this little drone and do a high jump to get a damage boost from the spinning gear. Go through the diver and medium jump to damage boost from another gear. Move right at the very edge of this last gear and slightly tap your jump button for a small jump. Hit the ceiling. See this line on this small platform? Run on top of it and jump, followed by another long jump from the edge. Turn around at the peak of your jump to get a proper damage boost from the gear and 2 jumps to reach the health pad. If you have less than 3 HP here and at least 400 coins, use the pad, otherwise you can take the risk and continue without the refill. Reach the box and kneel to punch it, get the letter A and acquire your sword bot. Before allowing the bot to spawn, quickly run here and do a long jump. Then align Steve near the very edge of this small platform, facing left. Careful not to fall down though. Now it's time for the yeet strat. When you toss your bot underwater, the game forgets about the water physics briefly and allows you to continue with faster speeds than normally. Hold down A, then B to throw your bot. This will give you a massive boost right. Keep your D-pad neutral when you're moving right, and once you land, try to tap your jump button without moving any direction, allowing Steve to bunny jump. Take the damage boost from the diver or the gears and do another jump when landing. Ideally, you'll land right here where the secret pad is. Depending on your jumps, attempt to hit the diver here on top with your sword bot once. Kneel to get the red vest and long jump against the wall to destroy the diver. Turn left and jump your way all the way to the surface where you will find another box. Get the letter A here. 2 final small jumps to reach the teleporter. Harptune is annoying since you're fighting him underwater. Thankfully the sword bot takes care of him fast. Hold left at the beginning of the fight and stop around here. When Harptune reaches the middle section of the screen, punch to swing your sword 3 times. Do not punch 4 times since that's when you start doing haymakers. Follow him up with a long jump. Punch once on your way up and once at the peak of your jump. You should be able to connect a sword swing, which causes him to get knocked back towards you. Then turn around and swing again to push him against the right side wall. Make sure your bot is not humping against Harptune here and do medium jumps while continuing to punch in a rhythm. Constantly hitting him with your sword and keeping him pinned against the right side wall. His height might change during the fight, so you can change from medium jumps to high jumps if necessary. Though usually medium jumps are more than enough to get at least 4 hits in. Most optimally, you can get 5 swings in one single jump. If you want to go for the slower, yet easier strat, do the 3 swings at the start of the fight and small to medium jump here, aligning yourself with the green background pipe. Now wait a little bit until Harptune starts his attack and start doing medium jumps, tapping B in the air to swing your sword. Continue until he's dead.